Of course, you can see how I'm looking, and you will know that this was not planned. It doesn't matter. Once you get to be a certain age, see them dark knuckles and everything, you don't really care about appearances as much. Not saying you don't care how you look and you don't take care of yourself, but once you get to be, phone is dying, let me plug it in. Once you get to be a certain age, you don't care. You just do. Because all this stuff doesn't matter as much. So I don't really expect people to come on because it's like 4:30 in the morning because I'm an entrepreneur and this is what we do. I said I'm going to do a Chicago after dark because I have a message. I got a great video idea I'm going to surprise you all with, but I said I'm going to come on really, really, really quick to just tell you that nails is really, I'm kind of annoyed. I think I've said this before, but you all don't realize I'm really annoyed by how many people want to be a nail tech these days because I know that most people want to be a nail tech for the wrong reasons. I am sipping wine. I'm not going to lie to you because I've been watching all these different videos of the riots and everything. And Chicago has been pretty quiet. And I'm glad because we will turn up. They don't want us to turn up. If it would have happened here, it would be a totally different story. So I'm glad. But I think I'm just like a little mentally exhausted and drained from everything that's happening today in the world. But my mind just got to going over time and everything. And it just got to me to thinking about my past and everything I've been through. And, I'm just how annoyed I am right now in life. I'm annoyed with humans in general. But I'm going to keep it on nails. Everybody and their mama want to be a nail tech right now. This is not towards you if you want the new people who want to be a nail tech. But I cannot tell you how many people reach out to me. People I know. My daughter want to be a nail tech. My daughter want to be a nail tech. My little sister want to be a nail tech. Can you teach her? And then as soon as I reach out to them and say you need to go buy this book or you need to enroll in school, we need to get you enrolled in school, I don't hear from them no more. You don't want to do nail tech. You want to do the fun stuff. You don't really want to be a professional nail tech. Anyway, I want people to. I'm saying all this to say an idea popped in my head because I posted something on my personal page. This might be too deep for some of you all. That's why this is Chicago After Dark. Chicago After Dark is really my true feelings and everything and who I am and where I come from and understanding a little bit about me because my personality is a bit different. And I want people to slowly understand who I am because I'm not your average chick. But I'm going to tell a little quick story. I'm not going to be on here forever, but I'm going to tell a quick story about something from my past because somebody liked a post that I made on my personal page. And this is somebody that I have known all my life. But let me tell you how funny life is because this person was once an enemy of mine because I come from Chicago, one of the most dangerous cities in the world. And this person was actually in a gang, and I was not in a gang, and they did something to me that will always affect my life. And it's funny that 20 years later, I'm able to still be Facebook friends with this person and them to like my posts and for me to for I forgive them. And it all started with nails, believe it or not. What happened between she and I started with me doing nails. It's not gonna be a long story because I'm gonna go to sleep soon because I do have stuff to do. But basically, when you are a good nail tech and when you are good at what you do, and I am just, I'm not saying this in a cocky way because it's a lot of negative people online who automatically think when anytime you say something good about yourself, people automatically say you think you all that. I'm not saying it because I think I'm all that, but for real, at this age, I can seriously say that I am ordained to be a nail tech, and now I'm ordained to help people who really want to be it without going through as much as I went through. So I'm going to tell you that this is a story from when I was like 17 years old. I had a really good job through the city of Chicago. It had a special program for teens, and I was making a lot of money. Okay. Back then, I was making like $18 an hour. I was making, that's why I say when people talk about how much they make, I'm like, that's nothing. I've been making so much money forever. It don't even matter. Like money that's big to you. I'm like, I've been making that. I was like $17, 17, $18 an hour, 18 something an hour, something like that through this special program. And I was doing nails. And if you really want to know, I was a drug dealer too. I done said that in another lab before. That's why you catch Chicago After Dark, because if you catch me sipping this wine, I'll tell you what it really was. I'm not new at making money. Anyway, you got to be careful who you reveal or let see everything you got going on, because when I was making all this money back then, me and my friends, we used to buy stuff. We was getting paid. We ain't had nothing to do. We ain't had no car notes. We had no mortgage to pay. Imagine making $18 an hour over a summer, working 40-hour work weeks, and having nothing to do with the money. Literally nothing to pay, no bills to pay. You 17, I was still in high school. I was about to graduate, but life was good. Do you hear me? I was going out buying gold chains and stuff like that. I'm going to speed the story up. Anyway, I was still doing nails. That's when I really started to get good with nails, and I was making all this money. I didn't even have to do nails. I just was so into designs, like I tell you all, and doing nails that I was just doing it, but I didn't need the money. But you have to watch it, because at the same time I was wearing all these big gold chains and everything, and I had bought a car cash. Not a fancy car, but people watch you. And if you're in certain neighborhoods where people have nothing, nothing seems like something to some people. So, long story short, I know I keep saying it, but listen to it if you want to. If you don't, you don't. It's up to you. I learned my lesson. You need to learn yours. Um, I did one of the girls from my neighborhood. I did her nails before, and then she came back to get her nails done again, and the doorbell rang. The doorbell rang. At that time, I was doing nails out of my house, which that's why I said I've been doing nails out of my house forever. I was 17, almost 30 years ago. Almost 30 years ago. I'm telling you a story about nails from almost 30 years ago, and I was triggered to go live. So anyway, I got this girl in my house for like the second, third time. She a girl from my neighborhood, Hey y'all, doorbell ring. I go answer the door. I forgot who was at the door. It wasn't nothing though. And then I came back in the room and I finished doing this girl's nails. Lo and behold, I forgot, because this was such a long time ago. But lo and behold, all my jewelry was gone. All of it. All my gold. I used to wear lots of gold and gold rings and stuff. I was a hood chick. Okay? Okay? A hood chick in Chicago. But I was still a good girl. I was still a smart chick. I didn't even go to school with the rest of them. I went to a totally different high school on the other side of town and everything. So while I was, that's why I'm like, I have book smarts and I have street smarts. During that time, that's when I was about to graduate. But I still went to Whitney Young. And if you're not from Chicago, you don't know. But Whitney Young is one of the top high schools in the country. So even though I lived in the hood, I was that chick who lived in the hood but went to one of the top schools in the country. So I didn't go to school with them down the street or up the street over there. I had to go on the bus and travel an hour away to go to high school. So I never really fully fit in. But the one thing that connected me to the girls in the neighborhood was I did nails, and I did it good. I did it well. You know, once I realized that my jewelry was missing, I'm like, I started backtracking. And I realized when my jewelry was missing. My jewelry became missing when I had to get up from doing that girl's nails and going to answer the door. And it's still another, it's like another story behind this, but I'm not going into all that tonight, because when I tell you all, my life has been a testimony. This is a whole nother story to this, because I was going through a lot during that time, because I wasn't even living in a stable household. I was living with a drug addict during that time. But I digress. So that's why I tell you all, the excuses you all give me, it sounds like bullshit to me, because I made it through way worse circumstances. But anyway, let me digress again. Once I realized that this is when my jewelry came up missing, I'm like, Dad, what am I going to do? because the chick that I had in my chair during that time, I knew it was a setup. I had been set up by a client. One of my clients set me up to steal all my jewelry. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is a long time ago, though. True story. I didn't know what to do because I grew up in this neighborhood. And like I said, I'm from the hood, but I wasn't that chick on that grimy of a level. I was doing their nails and stuff, but I wasn't like on that gutter level. But they was. As long as they was paying, I was still taking their money. One of my friends, she used to come, I ain't going to all that, but one of my friends from the neighborhood, this is like one of my best friends. And I told her what happened, and she didn't know what to do either because she was same chick. She lived over there part-time. I'm going to say this is the easy way of saying. She lived over there part-time, but she wasn't really about that cut from that cloth. She knew about the life like me, but neither one of us were really cut from that cloth like that. Okay, so I remember sitting out on the porch one night trying to figure out how we're going to handle this because we knew exactly who had my jewelry. How do we know? They kind of started making it obvious because the girl who was sitting in my chair who helped set me up and the person on the porch, at that point we were sitting, she sat on my friend, my real friend, sat on my porch with me day and night for like 24 hours. We was just talking and hanging out, regular stuff, but still talking about what happened, trying to figure it out. But we pretty much knew the answer. But the girls who we thought were responsible, they started driving down the block. Driving down the block. In a car with some dudes. And they would drive past and be eyeballing us like basically saying, yeah, we did it. What you gonna do? Yeah, we did it. What you gonna do? What we gonna do? We ain't in the game. We just regular chicks. Y'all ain't about that life. I wasn't really about that life, but I was not. But nowadays, I'm to that point where I pretty much am. Anyway, I stayed up all the night, and my friend, that's like one of my best friends in life, and it's crazy because she's dead now. She was killed. She was killed in another setup in Atlanta, Georgia. That's a whole nother story. But that friend that stayed up with me for over 24 hours trying to figure this out and what to do, she's no longer alive. But I didn't care about the gold and everything. I care because the woman who raised me, my mom didn't raise me. I could tell y'all some stuff. This is why people like go to sleep. I sleep on an irregular. I sleep and everything, and I eat and I take care of myself. I just finished lifting my weights and everything, and I'm sipping my wine, but I still get my weight lifting in. I take care of myself, but life is a trip, and right now, what's going on in this country has me thinking about so many different things. I digress. Let me go back. I'm just trying to keep my thoughts straight because my mind is kind of racing, to be honest with you, with everything. Um, Life is a trip. Life is precious. And nails has really taken me through a lot of things. When I tell you all, this is why I get so passionate with you all. This is why and I'm going to keep this video up because I ain't cursed not a once, maybe a few times, but it's definitely staying up. Life and nails has been my backbone. I got a freaking bachelor's degree in business administration. I have a master's. I have an MBA. A master's of business administration with a concentration of marketing. But it has been nails that have taught me the most about human beings. I'm going to wrap this on up. How did that story turn out with them driving down the block? Because they would literally pull up. They kept pulling up. Basically like, yeah, we set you up. They was letting it be known. We set you up, now what? What you going to do? They literally would drive down the block, pull up in front of my house, pause, and mean mug us, and then pull off. The reason why it hurt me so much was not because of the gold chains. It was because my grandmother who did raise me, that's the woman who did raise me, not my mother, my grandmother, because my mom was mentally ill. And I've never said that until this video. And I said something about a schizophrenic. I know I'm saying a lot, but that's what Chicago After Darks are about. Me really being real and raw with you all. I said something about a schizophrenic person being in my house a couple of weeks ago. And that's why I'm going to come out of my house. And somebody said to me, schizophrenic people are not dangerous. Like they were offended. And I said, honey, I know schizophrenic people. And the reason why I know schizophrenic people is because my mother was a paranoid schizophrenic all my life. And that's why she never raised me. I know. I've been through many incidents with her. And I have to disagree. Schizophrenic people can be dangerous because they are not in their right minds all of the time. My mother stabbed my grandmother in the arm while she was doing my hair as I was when I was a child. I don't think she meant to stab her mother, my grandmother. I think that her mind was in another place and she saw something different and she stabbed her mother, my grandmother, in the arm. Luckily, not stabbing me in the neck because I was sitting on the floor, I was told, while she was braiding my hair when she stabbed her in the arm. And my grandmother had a mark on her arm when my mother stabbed my grandmother in the arm. When I tell you I've been through a lot in life, I digress. So when I say I had a schizophrenic client in my house, I know how to handle it. You cannot tell me nothing because I've dealt with a schizophrenic person up until 2016 when my mother passed away. Baby, God done put me through so much on so many different levels. That's why I'm able to talk with confidence. That's why I'm able to speak with fluidity when I on things because I've had it from so many different levels and I take time to try to ground myself, meditate and understand it and process it because it's been hard. And I said, Dad, God, what you want me to do with this? I asked the universe, what you want me to do with this? I put the messages out to you because one video I might put out might not help you, but it might be helping somebody else. 3 videos may help you and 5 may help somebody else. I'm going to put it out there. So trust me when I tell you, when I say things, I'm not saying things out of just talking out my ass. I say things out of all the different experiences. And this is why I've told you all, when I get to talking, a lot of people might say I'm crazy, but they can't really put me in a crazy box because when I start telling them and showing my documentation and telling stories, they like, damn. And then that's why I tell you, a lot of people, when they really start talking to me, when they first meet me, they think I'm a liar. If you go back and you watch my videos from the beginning and you keep watching my videos, you're going to understand I'm not a liar. God just put me through a little bit of everything. So when I had that schizophrenic person in my house the other day, I recognized it instantly because schizophrenic, she behaved like my mother. My mother used to bust out in laughter all the time when I would visit her. And then she'd come back. Like she said, some of us cannot figure out our ministry. And I'm telling you that I had to get on live today because something with all this that's stirring in me and jewelry and all this stuff, it just said, dang, and the person that I have had to forgive. I have never even had this conversation with her, but I forgive her. And then you like, who is her? Who is her? Who is her? Who is her? Who is she still alive? It's the one person that's still alive through all this, right? So I digress. Hold on. Again, let me hit my vape. I gotta go sleep though, for real. I think I'm a little overworked, but it's okay. So where did I leave off with the story with the nails? So I couldn't figure out what to do. Damn, I'm trying to think, y'all. That's what it is. I'm tired, but I'm trying to think. Okay, so they kept driving past my house because okay, so basically the girl who came to get her nails done, the girls who were driving past my house in the car, they were all in the gang in the neighborhood. I wasn't a gang person, and my friend who sat on the porch with me stayed up all night. We weren't gang girls. We were from neighborhood. We talked to the guys in the neighborhood. We party, we hang out. We used to drink and get drunk and all that, but we were not in a gang. So when that sort of thing happened back then, you had no backup. So it was nothing you can do. It was nothing I could do. The reason why it hurt me so much is because I went to my mother and I started talking about the schizophrenia, and she did not raise me. My mother did not raise me. My grandmother raised me, and she gave me a ring, and the ring was ugly as fuck. But my grandmother gave it to me, and it was in the batch of jewelry that that girl stole. I never saw that ring again. It was so ugly. But actually, I believe something happened some years ago, some years later, where something happened where I found out somebody saw the ring or something happened with the ring and they were like, yeah, it's sold and it sold for a lot of money. The ring was super ugly, but it was worth a lot of money because it had diamonds in it, but it was ugly. So I think the ring was worth a lot of money because it was like diamonds, but it was like melted together with gold, but it was ugly the way they melted it together. But the diamonds itself were worth a lot of money. And that girl, when she set me up that day, she stole that ring because when she stole my necklace and all that stuff from they saw me working that job and doing all that stuff, they took the ring, and I don't even care about all the gold. I can't even remember all the gold they took because I used to wear so much gold back then. That's why I was trying to find that picture that's packed up. You guys, you see it? I got my stuff packed. I'm not lying to you. Can you see that? All the stuff that's packed up. I only remember the ring. I remember how it wasn't cute or anything. It was a hot, melted mess. The diamonds I heard later on were worth money. Anyway, years later, over 20 years later, I'm going to tell you a story. Seriously, the girl who came to get her nails done by me, she's dead. She's dead. She was an unhappy person. She was living in a life even though we all lived in the hood, her life was worse than mine. She lived on the next block. She was a stripper. She got with a guy who was no good. They was both two unhappy people together. They started She was stripping. He was pimping her. They was living in a car at one point. Um, he ended up shooting her and killing himself. So even though she set me up. Even though she set me up, she lost her life and her kids have to live on without her. And the girls who were her clique and crew to help her set me up to do her nails, to set me up to steal my gold. One of them that I know was her Ace Boon Coon. I'm still friends with her on Facebook, y'all. Don't ask me how. I'm still friends with her on Facebook and she likes my posts. And that's what made me come on today to put this Chicago After Dark because she still like my posts and everything. She ain't never apologized enough, but I forgive her. I do. I forgive her because she been through a lot herself since all that happened back then. She been through a lot herself, and God has really blessed me. And you know, some things that we got to go through in our life, you got to go through some pain to get some gain, baby. You got to go through some pain to get some gain. Don't look at my hair because I got a conditioner treatment in here. But you got to go through some pain to get some gain. And you know, a lot of people not raw like this on social media. You know, everybody want to be all what they want you to see on social media. My numbers may not grow as fast as everybody else on social media, but you gonna get the real me on social media, okay? If I fuck up, I'm gonna tell you I fuck up. I'm gonna tell you what the real story is. But I'm gonna tell you that is a real story. When that girl been coming, I ain't never blocked her nothing. The most people have been like, fuck her, block her. Da, da. When she asked to be my friend on Facebook, I let her be my friend on Facebook. And through the grapevine, I heard what this girl been through. That girl who been liking my posts, she been through drug addiction and everything. And now she with God. She's trying to get her life together and everything. And it's just like I have to forgive her. I have to forgive her. And that was something that happened in my life, traumatic, that I can never get back. And it happened doing nails. Doing somebody nails. They knew how they can get to me because they knew I was a nail tech. So and I'm going to tell you, I put the story, why she put this? Because people take all this stuff, beauty services right now, is a joke. And for me, it goes way deeper. It developed me into who I am today. And everything I went through and stepped out, got degrees and all that, I still came back to it. So nails is truly my foundation. It taught me a lot about life. It taught me about how to forgive people. It taught me how you deal with different personalities and you have to deal with other people's demons. You're going to have a lot of different energies in your chair, a lot of different people's trauma in your chair, and you're going to deal with a lot of people's pain in your chair, and people will see what you got going on. They be watching you, okay? They be watching you. That's why when I move, where I live right now is pretty, y'all can see just from looking at the background, it's older. But where I'm moving to ain't older. It's nice. And I'm used to living in nice stuff. I cannot bring people in my new house because I have been literally robbed by my clients and set up by my clients before. And I still bring them in my house. But I'm not stupid enough to bring them to my new crib. You know, if I ever bring them to my nuclear crib is when my clientele book is closed. But right now, I'm still accepting people, so I can't bring them into my new house. That's why Cece and I are going together, because she and I both have a lot to lose, and we both lost dealing with clients. And so she has a space, and even though it's not the best space that we both ideally would want, it's a space that we can both bring people to and not let them know what's going on with us, because I've been robbed before by a client, and I never said that. And what brought that on for me to come to a Chicago after dark was this person I've been Facebook. I didn't even realize it, because I guess God has cleansed my heart, and I want a lot of people to have this type of cleansing in their heart, because it's really hard. I'm still friends with this person on Facebook, even though they never apologized to me. But I realized that what they did to me had nothing really to do with me. It's just that at that time I seemed to be a little bit more blessed than them, and they saw that they could come up off of me. And a lot of people don't realize, even though they hurting, they could be causing you 5 times more hurt. But they feel like you got it going on, so they will try to do something to you, not trying to hurt you, but just trying to come up off of what they think you have. And out of everything they stole an ugly ring. Then that was what meant the most. And I'm still Facebook friends. And one day we're going to sit down at a table. God and the universe going to bring us together at an event. It's probably going to be a funeral, to be honest with you. And we're going to all be at a repast. And I'm going to probably pull her outside. She's going to smoke a cigarette. I'm like, let me get one, because y'all know that's my weakness. And I'm going to tell her how I really felt about that. Because I don't think she ever realized the impact that she had on my life collaborating with her friend who came to get her nails done. Because she was part of setting me up to steal my gold. But I forgive her, because I heard everything she went through in these past 20 some years, and God still blessed me. And I'm sorry for being emotional, but I had to tell a lot. So I told a lot about that, and I told a lot about schizophrenia and how I can speak on that, and having a schizophrenic person in my house and how to recognize it. I grew up with it all my life. My mother did not raise me. My mother was in a mental institution, but when she used to break out the mental institution all the time and come to my house. My grandmother raised me, and she used to come to the house because it was the family house. So she knew the address by heart, I guess, in her mind. And we would have to call the police on her. I'm not going to go that deep into that, but I'm saying I had some very traumatic experiences with my mother, who was schizophrenic. So I recognized schizophrenia, and thank God it didn't pass on to me. I even took myself to the doctor in my 20s to make sure that I didn't have it. I'm emotional because I'm a Pisces. But I have suffered from anxiety and stuff, but most people do, because life can be a lot. But I'm not schizophrenic, but I do recognize I do recognize schizophrenia. So somebody made a comment on that particular video like they were offended. I'm like, baby, I'm talking from experience. I'm not talking out of fear or ignorance. I'm talking from the closest experience possible. My mother was schizophrenic, and she passed away in her sleep in 2016. So just from heavy medications over the years. That's what we have to assume it was. And she was a heavy, heavy, heavy duty smoker. And I think that's where my smoking habit and addiction comes from. The smoking, I really do enjoy puffing on things, because my mother, why is this internet acting up lately?